Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is set to meet with President Biden in Washington before addressing a joint meeting of Congress. It's believed to be the first time Zelenskyy has left his country since the start of the war, and it comes as Congress is considering $45 billion in funding for Ukraine. ABC's Britt Clennett joins me live from Kyiv, along with ABC's Jay O'Brien on Capitol Hill for more. So, Britt, how significant is this visit, and what are Zelenskyy's goals while he's in Washington?
Well, it doesn't get more significant than him leaving for the first time since this war began. He was in Bakhmut yesterday, the hottest point on the 800-mile-long front line. One day Bakhmut, next day in Washington. It really shows how determined he really is to rally support. What are the goals? Well, quite simply, weapons. Officials recently told us they'd be seeking more long-range and precise weapons too. And it comes as we've seen heavy fighting continuing in the east and south, and there's growing fears of a potential attack from the north. Putin met with Belarusian leader Lukashenko on Monday, and the Ukrainians are warning that an attack could happen there within the next weeks or months. We just don't know whether that's actually a bluff or whether it's a real and present danger.
Now, Jay, Congress is facing a Friday deadline to fund the government and avert a shutdown. The $1.7 trillion spending bill on the table does include $45 billion in funding for Ukraine. So what exactly would that money go towards, and how close are we on a deal here?
Well, in that $45 billion for Ukraine, so much of it goes to replenishing existing munitions that the U.S. government has sent over to Ukraine to help fight against the Russians that the Ukrainian government has used. So they need to be replenished. But also in there is humanitarian aid for the people of Ukraine. There's aid to the energy infrastructure in Ukraine that's been decimated in some parts by Russian missile attacks, as well as the Ukrainian economy and things of that nature. Now, when you reference that overall omnibus bill, it's huge. It doesn't just go to funding Ukraine. It funds the entire federal government. As you said, it averts a government shutdown if it passes. It's more than 4,000 pages long, $1.7 trillion. A deal is done. The Senate took its first step in passing the legislation last night. They have more work cut out for them. It does have bipartisan support, although there are Republicans in the Senate who do not like the way this deal was struck. There are certainly Republicans in the House that also don't like this deal, but it is on track. And if it were to pass the Senate, the sense I get from House Democrats is that they feel they could pass it quickly once it gets in their hands.
And of course, we could avert a shutdown. All right, Britt, officials say they expect an announcement that the U.S. will provide Ukraine with Patriot missile defense systems and precision bomb kits. I guess the question is, why now, and what impact could those weapons have on the battlefield?
Well, Ukrainians have actually been asking for Patriot batteries since the beginning of the war. And they say these sophisticated systems are exactly what they need to defend themselves, plug the gaps left in its air defense. And, this need is real. Just today, we've heard several alarms going off just today and across the country, too. So there is a present danger, and not just because of the death and destruction caused in Russian air attacks, but also because Russia is hitting critical energy infrastructure here, drawing this country further into darkness as the bitter winter bites. Last night we were at a residential area, where 8 hours or more people were without heating, without power, and it was really quite inspiring to see these people say, we're strong, we're Ukrainians, and life has to go on. But in terms of these Patriot batteries, it will take some weeks to train Ukrainian troops. But Ukraine, it has proven time and time again that it can work out these sophisticated systems and be trained in them rather quickly.
And Jay, Republicans are set to take over control of the House after the new year. We know. How could that affect U.S. aid to Ukraine?
Well, there are several members, Alexis, of the House GOP conference who have been sharply critical of aid to Ukraine. One of the most vocal is Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's set to have real power in that slim majority in the House GOP conference come January. She has been vocal in her opposition to Ukrainian aid. She's even been vocal in her opposition to Zelenskyy coming to address Congress tonight. But even other Republicans, Kevin McCarthy has said he doesn't want to cut a quote-unquote blank check to Ukraine for aid. So what Zelenskyy's opportunity is tonight is to confront those Republicans who may be critical of aid to his country on its war footing against Russia, look at them face to face and make the case for continued aid, Alexis.
An important speech for him and for Ukraine. Jay O'Brien, Britt Clennett, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.